I wonder what people will be wearing in the 2020s. Will the 2020s remind them of one of the most popular decades ever?
Welcome to the Perfection Selection, a Cream of Cards TV.
It would be great if we could just peer into our crystal ball or foretell the future with our cards, our fortune telling cards. A giant Easter egg time machine will come in handy too. We often dismiss that as hocus pocus, magic and fantasy. Having a hyperactive imagination didn't seem to do J.K. Rowling's bank balance much harm though. When you think about it logically, we time travel all the time. It's called imagination. Sometimes our predictions are quite accurate, like when we're crossing the road, but not so much so when we're making long-term decisions, predictions, like choosing a lifelong partner. The one thing that you can predict though, about fashion, is that it often repeats itself. Fashion designers are always raiding and pillaging the past archives for, paradoxically, new ideas. Celebrities sport the latest retro-inspired collections, and there's no end of period dramas on television. Fashion designers are in luck at the moment, though, because recycling is all the rage. Well, it's fashionable to save the planet this season. Of course, they don't resurrect ideas verbatim. They'll take elements from different places and seamlessly blend them together to match our current times, which is probably the definition of the creative process. So what better decade to draw your inspiration than from one of the most creative decades in living history? It was so popular, it has umpteen names for the same thing. Roaring 20s, Jazz Age, Golden Age, 1920s, or just plain old 20s. You take your pick. What do you call the previous decade of doom and gloom though? The 1910s? The greatest tragedy is that many of the styles from the 1920s actually evolved over previous decades. They even drew some inspiration from as far back as ancient Egypt, around the same time that they raided Tutankhamun's tomb. But perhaps we should take our cues from the ordinary people on the street, since 1920s themed fancy dress parties are just as popular today as they ever have been. Thank you for watching my video, and please feel free to leave a comment and feedback. Now that you've seen that video, you might want to click on these other cardboard adventures.